All right, welcome to the relationship show. This woman writes this post is wall punching a red flag. They're both 21, and she says, my boyfriend gets so mad playing games, he'll punch stuff. He's broken a TV, a door, and put 2 holes in a wall in the past 2 years. Yeah, I'd say he has some anger issues there. It's weird because I would never consider him to be an angry person. He's very even tempered, much more so than me, I would say. He just gets really competitive at games and takes losing really personally, or so he's said. I've talked to him the other times he did this, and he's ashamed and embarrassed of it every time. Anger often comes when we don't really know what to do in a situation, and that's really our only other way out. He could also be using that to get attention as well. So if he's leaving holes in walls, etc., what does he do? He gets attention from that. So people see that, they say, oh, and give him almost a sense of sympathy. So there could be a couple different motives with why people get angry, but at the end of the day, it's because they get rewarded for it in some way, whether it be from a reward from themselves and getting out of like a situation, or just like forcing your way out of a situation, or a reward for acknowledgement. He's never hit me, or I don't think he ever will. I've been in an abusive relationship before, and this definitely isn't that. He doesn't punch stuff when he's mad at me, just if he loses a game and is mad at himself. Yeah, just be careful. I mean, he really should get this in check and find other ways to really deal with his emotions, because everything starts with yourself. If you're getting angry at yourself, it's not too soon after that you get angry at other people. And so it's like you translate and you see the world kind of how you are. Um, it's not a good habit to be in from his perspective, or from your perspective, being in a relationship with someone like that. It could also give them like a sense of importance, because sometimes they do that, like they'll make marks on things, or even like you'll see this with even kids too, like they'll get like bruises or stuff like that so that people pay attention and get like sympathy, or they scrape their knee so they get attention, get like a band-aid. But it gives them that sense of importance, like, oh, I'm so tough or strong, or things along those lines. um, Look at me kind of thing. uh, I've asked him to get therapy before, and he can't afford it. He doesn't have insurance, and we unfortunately live in America. He'll delete the games for a while or stop playing, but he's been playing for years and years and doesn't want to just stop because he can't control himself. So he'll start again and be good for a while, but then it happens again. Is this a red flag? Should I be worried? Were we supposed to move in? We were supposed to move in together in the fall, but I don't want to have to pay security deposits for worry about him destroying our house. I've told him that before too, and it stopped him for a while, but he just did it again. What do I do? I don't know how much attention you're giving him, but you're giving him attention by even saying things like, "Oh, I don't want to do this because of security deposit. If you do this," and it's like it makes him a part of him, and it almost comes across as like him being like tough, or he can, like, I don't know. It's a reward for him if you give him attention. So I would cut and eliminate the attention you give him from doing these types of things. Um, And I would definitely have my guard up too, because it's like, well, sometimes like angry people, if that's their pattern of focus, well, that's what they'll get back to. And so if you have that pattern of anger, then, on a consistent basis, then you might interpret other situations as being angry as well, even though you say that, he'd never do anything like that. But, you don't never know. Looking back at my past, I mean, I've punched things before. I've done this. I've gone through that phase when I was younger, like in high school. I thought I was tough or something like that. I'd punch a carpet, so I'd get like my knuckles would be like, I don't know, like shredded up, but it looked cool. So it's like that same exact concept, just like at recess when you were a kid and scraping up your knees, and then you get attention. But, I've since realized that that's a pretty stupid way to get attention and your sense of importance. And really, you can determine really what the person's like by how they get their sense of importance, like what they do in order to be important. I would say, yeah. I mean, it's a yellow flag for sure. I mean, it's something you need to be aware of, but also, yeah, I'm thinking of another time too. So it's like, okay, this I was at this apartment meeting. There was probably, I think there were like 500 people at this whole event, and then there were all these tables. I was sitting with one group of table, and there was this grown man. He's probably 45, 50 years old, and he had that. It's like he punched something, and he had this all knuckle was I think it was his middle knuckle, but it was all like split, and it was like he punched something for sure. And then I was like, well, I'll never do business with that guy, because he has a temper that he can't control. He can't control himself. And it's just kind of like a baby, little kid philosophy. And I can speak to that because I went through that as well. And I acted like a little kid when I was trying to like be tough or whatever. And it's like, oh, look at me kind of situation. Um, but I wouldn't say it's a very good habit, very good quality. And if you get in that consistent pattern of, just expressing anger and using anger as your way out, you'll keep doing it. And it might lead to more dangerous things. And so, really get your guard up with this guy, um, and just eliminate the attention that you give him for doing these types of things.